Mate, after the last 2 weeks, you'd be happy with what you saw out there tonight?
Yeah, it was a really strong competitive performance, and we'd set ourselves pretty early in the week that playing South Adelaide unbeaten is probably as good a challenge as we need after a couple of weeks which weren't quite to our level, what we expected ourselves. But it was a great contest over 4 quarters. We had a bit of momentum we're back into the first and in the second quarter, and I felt they had a fair bit of momentum at stages in the second half more than us, but I thought we played really tough and had a very inexperienced backline back there again, but they just kept standing tall with Collins, Ball and Hurd and Saywell in particular, Pedro, and then Wilkins going back there has added a bit of steel, so and Brody Carroll comes in, so that's a group that's just learned to play together, but I thought they stood up under pressure really well.
The first 5 minutes was South, they kicked those 2 goals and they come at you real hard, but the boys didn't lose their composure and they kept...
And I think that's one of the things, Warren, that those first 2 goals were off the back. I think the first one was 4 contest wins in a row for South Adelaide, and the second one was through our mistake. They got forward on us with O'Neill kicking a goal, but we didn't lose our composure. I reckon the last 2 weeks we could be accused of feeling the pressure of the scoreboard, and in the end we messed a few up in the first quarter. I think Callow played on and we missed one from the goal square with Shenton, and we snapped one out of bounds on the full, so we're actually playing, and we haven't created as many scoring shots over recent times as what we were able to, especially in that first half. So that was the pleasing thing, the mental capacity to not get flustered by what didn't go our way, just go on to the next thing.
Is it still a bit of an issue getting that forward line sorted out though?
Yeah, it's pretty inexperienced. They haven't played much together. Callow's a 4-gamer, Boyd's a 3-gamer, Nelligan's a 5-gamer. We've had Tom Wagon down there who's a 3-gamer, put Shen down there to add a bit more experience. Hamilton, Gerloff's only 15, 20 gamers. So when you add it up, we're still learning how to come together, and Paul Piopolo's only played 3 or 4 games with the group as well. So there's a lot of newness at our club, and I think everyone wants and expects a lot early, and I'm okay with that, but it does take time, and the chemistry, team chemistry, and the capacity to learn how to play together is a work in progress.
Big call, you drop a bloke that's played 2 McGarrys in Griggy. What is it, brave move, or you just, it had to be done, those sort of?
One thing we set ourselves as a coaching group, and I'll certainly say from my perspective as a coach, is that I'm going to keep picking a team that's the right team to play based on performance and behaviour and the ability to play your part. And over a few weeks there's been a bit of up and down from Mitch, and we've been having good conversations about what we need from him. I'll give him his dues. It wasn't a flippant decision, but his acceptance, he was clearly disappointed, didn't like it, let's be frank about that, but the way he treated me and dealt with the issue of not being in the team, the way he went and performed and invested into the team, and I was really pleased. Said to him, there's no timeline, it might be 1 week, it might be 3, there's nothing set, it's just go back, recapture your form, play the way we need you to play. And no one's off limits. It's a thing, like we get a bit more cred as senior players sometimes, but equally there comes a time where we have to make some decisions at selection, and unfortunately it was Don Barry last week, it was Mitch this week, and they'll come back in when it's the right time for them to come back in.
You're a new coach, I mean, Griggy's a hero here, so it is a brave move though. So it doesn't matter, you make the move, whoever's in, whoever's...
Yeah, I'd like to think I don't discriminate amongst players and birth certificates and what you've done in the past, and I'm a big believer we're only as good as our next game, so pretty much from now, enjoy the spoils but move on. People don't care what happened next week, so that's how I operate as a person and as a coach, and I want to be consistent with that, and some decisions won't please everyone, but that's what the role requires at times. And when we're trying to make significant change with how we approach our work week to week to week, sometimes there's victims, if you want to call it, or people who suffer the fate at selection, but we're not preventing them from getting back in either. You can go back and improve your footy, reserves footy, and come back a better player.
Twig, sorry.
So you bring some kids in though, good enthusiasm, and they'd love it.
Yeah, we're trying to explore with the youth on our list if they perform properly and behave at the right level at reserves. And Tranford comes in tonight. I thought he looked at the level. I thought he gave us probably a bit we haven't had, which is getting back inside 50 and threatening drop of ball. So when you combine that with Nelligan and the youth that I mentioned in the back line, we are an inexperienced team, but that's not any reason for us not to compete at the level. And we thought tonight we're able to compete against arguably the best team in the comp at the moment. It was an arm wrestle. We probably didn't close it out the way we should have, but with more experience, hopefully we'll be a bit better in that situation moving forward.
Twig, we got beaten around the ball a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but how impressed were you with the mids this week? In particular of Kennelly, Roker, Nunn. You just saw their pressure around the contest tonight. It was really it was noticeable. I mean, how'd you find them?
Yeah, I was really pleased with the mids. I think there was over 200 tackles in the game, so a bit of a dewy night, Friday night at the parade in a tight ground that can lend itself to those type of contest games. But I thought we had some ascendancy in the contest in the second quarter. I thought South Adelaide definitely early in the third had it, but we wrestled it back again. That's why it was a good, tough game, because I think both teams could say they had some momentum, but they lost it, and it was predominantly to do around the contest. So it's the way we've trained to play. It's what we believe in the contest, the capacity to win it, and also pressure with tackle. And I thought that looked more like us tonight.
Good job.